Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I'd like to share with you how to crochet the Suzette Stitch, which is a lovely stitch for making blankets. And also I'd like to show you this little border. It's just a 1-row border and you don't actually need to prepare the edges of your work. Okay, so let's get started. For the swatch today, if you just make a chain of 12 or however many chains you like, as long as it's an even number, that's fine. You skip the first chain and into the second chain, single crochet. And of course in the UK that's a double crochet. And in the same chain, do a double crochet, which is US terminology. And in the UK that's a treble. So we've got a single crochet and a double crochet in the same chain, the second chain from your hook. Now we're going to skip a chain and in the next chain do a single crochet and also a double crochet. And we're going to repeat this all the way to the end of the row, to the last 2 chains. So once again, skip a chain, single crochet into the next chain and double crochet into the same chain. Skip a chain, single crochet and double crochet in the next chain. Once more, skip 1 chain, single crochet and double crochet in the next chain. And then your last 2 chains, this final chain, you just do a single crochet in there. And that's how your work is looking. Now for row 2, just chain 1, turn your work, and in this very first single crochet, so your first stitch just here, you single crochet in there and also do a double crochet. Then you skip the next stitch and into the next stitch you do a single crochet and a double crochet. And that's all the Suzette stitch is. Skip a stitch, in the next stitch, single crochet and double crochet. So just work to the end of this row, skip a stitch, in the next stitch, single crochet, double crochet, skip a stitch, in the next stitch, single crochet and double crochet. Then we've reached our final 2 stitches, which happen to be a double crochet and then a single. So that's the top of the double crochet. This is the top of the single. Just go underneath both those loops and single crochet. This is how your work is looking. And you're now going to start row 3. Once again, exactly the same as row 2, chain 1. We're going to be working into this single crochet here. So we turn our work and straight into that single crochet with a single crochet and a double crochet. Skip the double crochet and into the single crochet with a single and a double. Again, skip a stitch. You can see this is the single crochet with the two little legs just there. Once again, skip the double and go into the single with a single crochet and a double. Skip over the double, go into the single with a single and a double crochet. And for the final stitch, skip over the double crochet into the single crochet with a single. So you repeat this for however long you wish your project to be. And this is how it's looking. Right, so what I suggest is you continue working several rows, then fasten off till you have a little square like so, or if you feel you'd like to complete your entire blanket, just come back to do the border later. Okay, so here we have, let's see, where is the beginning of this? This is the starting row here. So that's a sample. Now we're going to be working the one row border. Okay, so I'm going to do this in a different coloured yarn. I've got some white yarn that I'll use. Well, it's cream. So just make the yarn lay over your finger like so. Then pop it to the back of your work. And then insert your hook into the corner space. I think we can go under those 2 stitches there. Then yarn over, pull through, securing the yarn at the back with your finger, just chain 2. Then do a double crochet back into the same space. Then skip 1 stitch. In the next stitch, do a slip stitch. And now we're going to repeat that. Chain 2, double crochet in the same space, skip 1 stitch and slip stitch. Again, chain 2, double crochet in the same stitch, skip a stitch and slip stitch in the next stitch. And this is how it's looking. So it's a very simple border and quite effective really. I think it complements this little stitch, the Suzette Stitch, quite well, but that's just my opinion. It'd be great to hear what you all think. Right, so just a few more 2 chains, working into the same stitch with a double crochet, skip a stitch and a slip stitch, 2 chains, double crochet in the same space, and then we're at the corner. We can skip this stitch. Don't worry if you don't end up having the correct number. It doesn't matter. It's very forgiving, this stitch. Just pop them as best you can in the edging. Right, so we do happen to be at the corner now, so we just do a slip stitch here. This is a little bit tricky because you have one side of your work where the border stitch points this way, and then when it comes round here, the way it starts off, it is a little complicated. So if I just show you, I fiddled around forever trying to work out how it would balance. So there was a choice if you could either have it flat like that and just do a couple of single crochets. But what I did in the end was did slip stitches and 2 chains. And I thought, even though they're not completely symmetrical, the corners, you only really look at one corner at a time, and it balances out. So again, be great to hear what you think in the comments. Right, so just chain 2 and then a slip stitch again, and then chain 2 and do your double crochet in the same corner space. And then, because you're working down the sides now, you'll have to think you need to skip what would be the equivalent of a stitch. So we'll assume that's a stitch, and then just try and go under 2 loops with a slip stitch. Chain 2 and double crochet. And then again, we'll skip a stitch and go in here. There are no hard and fast rules, by the way, of where you pop your hook. You could go under both. It just depends what kind of effect you're looking for. So there we have another double crochet. We could say that we go over this one now, straight in there with our slip stitch. By doing a little slip stitch, it accentuates that little curve there, and it kind of like puts it on a slant, which mirrors this slightly. Right, so chain 2 and then your double crochet, skip a stitch, and then single, chain 2, double crochet, and then we can see we're at the corner here now. So we do a slip stitch, chain 2 and slip stitch. And once more now, we're on the bottom now of the work. So if we just chain 2, double crochet in that same corner space. It's a little more tricky because we're looking to actually skip 2 stitches here. But if you look, we've got these little, where the spaces are a little bigger. So it's quite okay to just go in here with a slip stitch, 2 chains, a double crochet. I thought initially it would stretch it out too much, but it doesn't. It lays quite nicely when it's finished. But if you were concerned about that, you could actually go in this little stitch here instead and jump over there. Right, so slip stitch, 2 chains, double crochet, put a little knot there, then slip stitch, 2 chains, double crochet, and then we can skip over here and go into the corner here with a slip stitch, then chain 2, slip stitch in the same space, and now we're ready to work up this side, which is actually our final side. Now this is going to be slightly different to this edge. It's just the way the rows end. Alternate rows have a slightly different way they look when they face different ways, so it's just a case of doing your best where you can see a gap where you can pop your hook. I say pop, I mean to say put. It's just a little turn of phrase we use here. There we go. So 2 chains, and again a double crochet, and then I think going in there would be great. 2 chains, double crochet, slip stitch, 2 chains, double crochet, you can see, and then a slip stitch, 2 chains again, a double crochet, and a slip stitch. Let's just have a little look here. Pop it in there. I do try to go under 2. Let's see here. I might just pop it in there. Right, chain 2, double crochet, and then we're at our corner. So into that corner space with a slip stitch, chain 2, and end with a slip stitch. Then yarn over, pull through, snip your yarn. I've left my scissors in the other room, not to worry, but there we go. Just zoom out a little, and then you can see how this little edging has taken effect. And it's not too bad on the other side either. Okay, so thank you again for watching, and I look forward to hearing your comments and hope that's helped. It was one of my subscribers who wondered how, if I knew any edgings for the Suzette Stitch, and I'll be honest with you, I've had a little ordeal trying to come up with this, but I'm glad I got around to it in the end. Right, well, thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Right, take care and bye for now.